professional development department's program. We want to better connect with industries, especially where Indonesian students are recruited in these companies. Dan mungkin ke depannya juga kita ingin kolaborasi dengan masing-masing company yang Mas ada, karena kita pengen kalau ada rekrutmen-rekrutmen khusus, internship untuk mahasiswa Indonesia, Permias Nasional bisa involve in being the pipeline and to streamline all these information altogether for Indonesian students. Terima kasih banyak Mas-mas semua sudah berkenan hadir.
Salam kenal, Axel. Thank you for the opportunity. So, yeah,
Salam
I would
kenal
be
juga Mas
happy.
Daniar. Terima
So,
kasih banyak.
so, so this talk will be in English or Indonesian?
Any language that you prefer.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
Yeah,
Wait, maybe
but
Jane has a.
sorry, just I think we do have like a couple non-Indonesian joining. So
I
if
see.
you guys would be able to do it in full English, that would be
Oh,
wonderful. Thank you.
sounds good. Thank you.
Berarti sekarang Mas Ganda, Mas Matthew, sama Mas Daniar base-nya di US atau di Indonesia saat ini?
Saya di Seattle.
Oh, di Seattle. Oke.
Ya gue juga di Seattle sih sekarang.
Siap.
Juga di Seattle.
Oh, everyone's from Seattle. Okay, that's great. Maybe next time if we have a visit to Seattle, it will be great to link up again.
Axel posisi di mana?
Saya sekarang di Washington DC, Mas. Kalau ada
Wow,
agenda apa di Washington DC, please let me know.
wow. Ikut nyusun strategi perang nggak?
Kita baru aja nih keluar dari acara apa grand strategy tentang di apa Iran
Gila.
dan, um, dan apa peran Amerika dan China actually.
Wow. Jurusannya apa, Axel?
Saya International Political Economy and Math,
Oh,
Mas.
wow.
Jadi intersection between both.
Got it.
Kalau Mas backgroundnya dari um, dalam negeri atau luar negeri sekolahnya?
Aku dari luar dalam. Jadi dari Bandung dulu S1-nya, terus S3 di Chicago. Terus ke sini.
Wow, wow. Apa LPDP Mas? Dari
Ya,
LPDP.
jadi kalau kalian googling Garuda Ilmu Komputer atau Garuda ACE program, itu open seluruh Indonesia. Itu research collaboration dengan US professor. Jadi selama kalian S1, kalian bisa riset. Ini bidang computer science ya. Sebenarnya bidang
Hmm,
lain juga bisa, cuman kita belum ada koneksi ke yang non computer science professor. Jadi
hmm,
yang program ini emang spesifik. Dan kalau misalkan beres programnya, nanti ketika daftar S3, jadi S1 terus nanti daftarnya S3, kita skip S2-nya.
oh
Itu nanti
gitu.
dikasih rekomendasi.
Hmm.
Dan dengan modal recommendation letter itu, kalian bisa dapat acceptance gampang banget.
Maksudnya rekomendasinya dari Dikti Saintek.
Dari profesor kolaborator di US.
Oh, oke. Dan ini pada saat proses undergraduate-nya ya.
Yep, yeah. I spent like 2 years.
Oke.
I spent my undergrad for like 5 years
Di ITB.
di ITB ya.
Very inspiring.
Ya, jadi kalau ada yang mikir, oh harus lulus tepat waktu,
Hmm.
don't worry about it.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. I think all the panels are here, so I think we can start. I believe we want to start the YouTube session as well, right? Have we started that one?
Yes, it's all good.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So thanks everyone for joining. As called out in the chat, if people can turn on their video for engagement, that would be perfect. And you can use the Q&A feature in Zoom for any questions. So we are hoping that this can be a more lively discussions and more and what we are hoping for in this panel or in this Zoom session, as Axel mentioned, is we want to build that connections between Indonesian students and Indonesian professionals, especially this time is, I think it's very relevant because all the concerns about layoffs and AI and how to navigate all of these different challenges, right? As we think about our careers, especially for those that are graduating soon. So these are the kind of things that we want to talk about, give encouragement to people and have a discussion of. And just to kickstart us first, so my name is William. I'll be moderating our discussions today. And if Ganda, Matthew, Danya, and Rita, if you all can briefly share about who you are and what your career path has looked like, and what you currently do, that will be helpful as an introduction. So maybe we can start with Rita.
Thank you, William. Hi, everyone. I'm Rita Munarwi. You can call me Rita. My career spans for more than 20 years right now in hardware semiconductor engineering. In my daily role, I'm currently managing the high complexity end-to-end program at the silicon level for the Microsoft in-house chip. So I'm not a developer, I'm not a computer science, but I come from the electrical electronic engineering background.
Gotcha. Thank you, Rita. Daniel, you want to go next?
Rita, are you in the Catapult team? Microsoft Catapult?
No, I'm in the Asia hardware.
I see.
In the
Oh, yeah.
Cobalt, the recent Cobalt, the heart of the data center.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Everyone, I'm Daniel. My friend call me Dan, and I'm the head of AI software in Mango Goose. I focus on like AI stuff. We are developing AI inference engine. We optimize the platform itself. So what we are selling is not a service, but we provide the technology to enable somebody like Azure or AWS if they want to run the LLM faster. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And maybe you can go to Matthew and then Ganda next.
Sure, yeah. So hi everyone, I'm Matthew. So I've been in like software industry for like roughly like 4 years. And currently I'm a software engineer for Microsoft, for Azure PostgreSQL. And like, yeah, I think we're also like getting to like into like other database as well, like MySQL. Like, yeah, we're merging into like one team essentially. So mostly like PostgreSQL, MySQL, and like there will be like other database as well in the future. So yeah, thanks for having me here.
Good to have you, Ganda.
Hi everyone, my name is Ganda. I am currently a senior software engineer at Google. I was studying at the University of Washington as an international student. Did a few internships, and then my first job was actually at Microsoft, and then I started moving to different company, and now here I am. See, I work in the data engineering space for some time. I also work in the financial fintech company for a bit as well. So that's a bit of background of what I'm doing.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for that. So I think one of the things that are top of mind for students right now is just how to go from from school and how to actually getting into a job, right? And so the maybe if if you all can share what was that process look like for you, especially maybe parts that weren't so obvious, or didn't come from like textbooks, because in school they don't have a class for how to get a job, right? So it's sort of, there are different ways for people to get jobs and different paths, and so maybe we can start that discussion first on what was that journey look like for you, maybe what was some tips that weren't so obvious, and what did you learn during your job finding search until you can actually get a job. So maybe you can start with Matthew.
Yeah, so I think my journey, I think originally it was kind of like textbook. Like I started like 2021, like summer interning for Amazon. And I think it was like around that time where like software engineer was like in high demand. So it was not as challenging as like right now. So I started as like intern and like got converted to full time, joined the same team. And that's when like the great layoff happened and like my team got shut down. So yeah, I lost my job around that time too. And I had to like look for jobs, and like I think during that time it was like the hardest time to get a job. So like I only got like the like contract position with like teams in Amazon, and like when that contract expired, I also have to find another job. So it's like two different. I think like there was like three different times of like job hunting, but like it's a different situation. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I think that final job search landed me this position in Microsoft. So I think what I learned throughout that journey is that like I think connecting with like other people, like connecting with like people who's already like in the field is really important. Yeah, I got like a lot of like referral from my friend who was like working in like Google or like Microsoft. At the time, like my referral is still like powerful, but I don't know about it now. But yeah, but I would say like having like referral and like having someone to like review my resume would it was something that is very helpful for me, and like it kind of like give me like a different insights on like how my resume is basically. Yeah, I think that's
Gotcha. So it's more of a referrals, finding those connections, and so that it gives you some sort of an edge to get into at least to the interviews, right? Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe we can hear from Rita. Curious, since you have been in the industry for 20 years, maybe what has been some of the learnings, and what have you seen from those who can successfully get a job versus those that are maybe not so successful? What has been, maybe you can share some experience on that one.
For me, the challenge of my first job, I don't think it's applicable to all of you right now because it was like 20 years ago where there's no AI. Everything is still more manual. So I rely a lot of attending career fair. Like I studied in Singapore, NTU, and then I got my first job before I graduated from NTU. So during that time, I went to career fair. There are many companies in that career fair, and I put my resume manually in the hard copy because I think we have an email, but it's very hard. I didn't have a name card like my contact, so I submitted my resume in a printout. I don't think it's applicable for all of you right now, but one thing I noticed over the years, I believe this is still true up to now. It's very important for you to know the framework how to do the interview. So if you can prepare the framework, we call it STAR, like situation, task, actionable, and what is your role. That is that is the key to help you to get a good result in the interview.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that STAR framework of, I think that's usually what I think a lot of industry right now uses that, right? When especially when they're doing the behavioral interviews and
Right. Now with
right.
AI, you can just type in, give me the what needs to be done to get the star format. So you can easily learn nowadays, but not back then.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's very helpful. Speaking about AI, I think it's a good segue to my next question. With because AI is such a hot topic right now, especially in the past 1 year, right? With ChatGPT, Claude, whatever AI models that people come up with these days. With this rise of AI and everything that AI can do, what do you think are the technical skills that students must have, and maybe skills that we need to cultivate even during our school years, that will be very relevant entering into the industry? Maybe we can start with Daniar, since you're head of AI in Mango Boost, and then would love to hear Ganda's perspective here as well.
Sure.
So
The skill that you must have. You must have the skill to optimize the AI. Because if your skill set is just using the AI itself, everybody can do that. But do you know what happened when the AI is running? What is the algorithm behind it? Do you know how to write that algorithm? Do you know how to optimize it? How many modules being involved? Is there anything that you can do to optimize it? If you have that, that will be very helpful. It's not just very helpful. You'll be guaranteed a job, at least in Mango Boost. If you cannot find a job, go find me. But if you just come to me, hey Dan, I can use AI. No, even my mom say so. So think about it that way. You cannot just follow the mass, right? The average opinion on AI. Even if you just ask AI itself, it can give you random answer. But now answer is so cheap. You have to find a unique way of thinking. And I'm giving you one. And this is unique because I don't think anyone is expecting this kind of answer. But if you do, let me know. Maybe we are on the same page. Yeah, and that's my answer.
Gotcha. So it's more of a not just being able to use the tool, but understanding how the tools itself works, right? How this
Yes.
AI works in the
And
back.
how to optimize it. Because going forward, AI will be here. It will be much better. And if you are the one who can optimize it to make it faster, imagine right now, ChatGPT. What if you can make ChatGPT twice faster with the same hardware? OpenAI will hire you right away, right? So that would be very rare, the skill set. Go ahead.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, curious to hear other perspective too. Maybe Ganda, you can share your take as well.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, like it depends on what kind of field do you want to be in, right? Like if you want to be an AI engineer, you better understand the foundations of how AI and algorithm works like that. But if you are just a software engineer who builds system for cloud system, for example, then in school you want to take those coursework so that you have a great foundations for your designs when you're designing, building a whole system. That way, you are not just relying on AI and whatever the AI say. You just take it and put it in your document, your design document when you're working, because that will differentiate, I would say, a good engineer and just an excellent engineer and just a typical engineer, right? Like when you present present designs and people ask questions, can you answer definitively why one is better than the other, and you're able to explain why that is the case. I think that's what I would say is important in terms of what we need to get from the school, from the university. Now, the other thing I would say is that if you're in the software development, the term vibe coding is very famous now. I think there's a value in being able to also try to like some vibe coding and being able to deploy that and build your own application when you are just like looking for jobs. That will be a value added because people like companies now. I heard that, at least not in Google yet, but I heard that some company starts evaluating on how people or engineers are able to use AI in their day-to-day work to optimize and their productivity and being able to produce more. And so if you can showcase an app that you built yourself with the help of AI and stuff, they're not expecting perfect, especially if you're students and you're entry level, right? But like if you have some exposure to it and you know how to use it, that will make you stand out compared to any other candidates that are out there in the pipeline, because there are a lot of people, a lot of students now. Why do they want you, right? And so being able to adapt to the standard of what being expected of engineers these days, which is like being able to code using AI, would be something valuable that you can that will make you different from the others.
Gotcha.
That is a default. I don't think it will make you different. Sorry, Kanda, but this is hard truth. That is a default requirement. Everybody should know how to use the AI agent. But if you want to be the superstar, you want to get accepted for sure, 100%, you have to improve the performance.
I think I agree with like Uganda's point, honestly, like on like the foundation, because I feel like having like a strong foundation is really helpful, like to understand like, because I mean like you can just like search like questions and like AI and like they will just like spit out like the answer, but like how do you know if like the answer is like the right answer if you don't have like the foundations to know like what you're talking about basically. So I think that's yeah, +1 to Ganda's point on that.
Yeah, I think I'm recognizing a pattern here. So I think, on one level, I think that the three of you agree that there is some sort of there is a foundation that you need to understand, right? I think from Daniel's point of view, you need to understand how the AI model works. I think from Ganda's and Matthew's perspective, you need to also understand some foundational level of how software engineering works, right? And then I think there is also the other aspect of how to creatively use AI, right? That's the edge that Daniel is talking about. And also from Ganda's point of view, it's, whether it's building your own app or some other creative ways to use AI to differentiate yourself, because like Daniel said, everyone can use AI, but how are you going to be using it to, put yourself above the rest type of thing, right? That's sort of I think that's the main threat here. So thank you for that. I think I would want to move to a slightly different topic here. For one of the again, I just wanted to call out for the participants. If you all have any questions, just put it in the Q&A, and we can ask them now, or we can do it later as well. One question that I have is, how has AI maybe changed the way you work? So we just talked that, yes, we need to understand AI, but maybe given how advanced AI are these days, how has it changed the way you work, at least in the past 6 months or so? Maybe we can start with Kak Rita.
I believe my environment is very different with all of the three other panelists because I'm in the hardware.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
So the challenge we have now is how to incorporate AI into the hardware such that we can do some automation, improve the efficiency. For my daily role, using the Copilot, I mainly use the PPI reporting for the executive. So I use a lot of Copilot help to create the automation for the reporting side. But in terms of the overall end-to-end silicon chips, there are still many restrictions how to incorporate AI to our daily activity, but I can see some improvement. For example, how we verify the design, how we find a bug So those kind of activity, we as in our team in Microsoft is also trying to incorporate AI to reduce the turnaround time. To find something we can automate, then we automate. But yes, we are not fully mature in that yet. But the key is automation. If we can automate, we automate.
Gotcha. And how does it look like for you, Matthew?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. So I think for me, like daily is just like I think like for mundane tasks, like for writing email and stuff, like I delegated it to like Copilot, definitely. Like, you know, like I just have like a bullet points and like this is like what I'm gonna talk about, patch it the Copilot, and like it was just like write it like the email for me, basically. For code, I think it's like some of the codes like I have to like write it myself, but like for like, you know, like if it is like small things, usually like I can just ask like Copilot to like help me with like some tasks. But uh yeah, I think like what's it called, like AI definitely helps me to like improve my productivity, because there's a lot of like small things that like you can delegate AI. Like I can imagine like AI as like, you know, like a junior engineer, but like, you know, like even like lesser than a junior engineer in my opinion, because can do like stuff, but like you have to like define every single thing in detail. And for
Yeah.
now, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. So I think I want to move on to a different topic. We just talk a lot about AI. I think we want to bring it back home to, you know, back to the students who are struggling to find jobs, right? Especially as international students. I think how for international students, right? Especially we need visa sponsorship to work here. How should we think about our job search? Are there any strategies that works better or for international students? I know earlier we talked about building connections to the companies, but you know, but are there any specific strategies maybe for international students? You know, given visa sponsorship sometimes is a must, and so want to ask maybe want to hear from Ganda and maybe from Daniel on this one.
Sorry, I was muted. I mean, I'm not quite sure what is the standard now for like getting sponsorship. I know that a lot of companies are having higher and higher requirement. I mean, definitely going into the route of doing master or even PhD, like what Danya is doing, is might be a possible, like the most likely path to for you to be able to get to a certain better process than the typical undergraduate software engineer. It's not like 3-4 years ago when software engineer too, I think, at least in software engineering, like we are able to get a sponsorship, right? Like that requirement definitely gets higher. Sorry, what was the question again? Like how we get a job, or like the sponsorship portion is the focus here?
No, more like just general strategy for there is just a strategy for job search, right? Like what Matthew was saying, building connections, getting referrals, but you know, especially for not sure if there is some more specific strategies for international students, given that, you know, visa sponsorship is a must, right? I think it's a different story if you have a US citizenship, right? You cannot have a job for a year and that's not an issue, right? But then given that we are international students, not sure if there is a more of a urgency and strategies that needs to be, maybe we need to think through. So
yeah, I'm not quite sure, honestly, like because like referral is definitely helping a lot. I would say preparing for interview, because I know that a lot of people who are interviewing right now, even when they interview and they do well, they might not get selected.
Mm.
because everyone can solve the problem. Like if it's a typical lead code problem for like a typical software company, a lot of people practice a lot and they all can solve it. And so most likely in that scenario, then they are looking more into the behavioral. So I would say to not like underestimate or like undervalue the behavioral aspect of the interview these days, because that could be the differentiating factor now that everyone is proficient with lead code and algorithm. And people might look less at algorithm now, with the rise of AI as we talk. So the behavioral, the STAR method that Rita was talking about, is something that is definitely worth looking at for you to be able to communicate properly and communicate well, so that you will stand out with the interviewer and the team that interview you, or even the hiring manager for that matter.
Gotcha.
That's what I have in my mind now.
Sorry, Matthew, I think you were. Oh, Daniel, you. Sorry. Maybe we can go to Matthew first and then Daniel.
Daniel can go first. Actually, I have
Okay.
I can share like after maybe.
Cool. Okay.
So, again, we need a unique strategy because, as Ganda said, right now is way harder, way trickier. Everybody seems to be able to do the same thing, right? And luckily, when I was in my undergrad, I have this one mentor, and he told me, Dan, and it was like 9 years ago, Dan, if you just have one paper in this conference, I can name the conference like OSDI, SOSP, NSDI. If you have like in AI, there is New Rips and others. If you just have one, you can pick any company in the US to work with. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, up to you. And interestingly, that that assumption right now is like still quite valid as far as I know. At least if one is not enough, you at least you need to have two. And after this, if you have enough, let's say in my case, I have like 3 or 4, you can apply to O1 visa or EB1 or EB2. So you don't really need to worry that much about the applying itself, like the way of applying something, but worry about how to prepare yourself. Because at the end of the day, when the company hire you, they want you to be a unique like contributor in the company, the one that has a very strong value. And if you already prove it within the research community, hey, I'm part of this expertise in the operating system, in the AI, or any topic, it is applicable in any major, they will gladly accept you. But if you are just coming out of undergrad, thinking about, okay, let me just submit my resume, yes, that will be a war. Everybody else is doing that. That's why if you have any opportunity to work with like a graduate professor, the one that can guide you on research, please do it, so that at least you have some research experience and some papers. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my take.
That's very helpful. So, yeah. Matthew, you want to go next? Seems like you have some.
Sure, yeah. I mean, because I was job hunting many times. Yeah, I can share. Like, I think my first strategy is like definitely like find a company or like maybe like organization that like has a track record of like hiring international student. Like, I think like when I was looking for jobs, there was like a certain tool that like you can. I think there was like a Chrome plugin that you can install to like check if the company has like sponsored H1B before. It might be different now because like I think H1B like sponsorship is very much like fluid right these days. So it's but at least like when you before you apply, like like, oh yeah, this company, well, I mean, they sponsor H1B before, then like hopefully like they can sponsor me too in the future. But if like if there's a company like doesn't sponsor H1B, then like you can spend like your effort to like find like a different companies perhaps. That is like one first like my tips. The second one is like timing, because uh usually like with hiring, like what happen is like uh if you're the hiring manager, like you usually like search to like the like basically like if you open like a application, it's kind of like a rolling basis, right? So you search through like the first like let's say like first 100 candidates. So someone told me that like you have to be like like one of the first few people that's like seen by the recruiter like or like
Mm,
the
mm,
manager like in order for you to like get selected into like the like interviews. Just to give context, like my team previously like started like an application for like software engineer one, and my manager told me that like it's only like 5 days, or like let's say like how many days, like they receive like 14,000 candidates. So I mean, if you like if you're kind of like late by like few days or something, then yeah, that's like the number of candidates that like you are competing against in a way.
mm,
So
mm, mm,
like
mm.
I think like for some companies like, or maybe like LinkedIn, for example, there's like a tool that you can use. Like for example, like there is like an alert feature where like you can get notified on your email, or like maybe like on your phone, if there is like new applications, if there sorry, like not on applications but like new job openings. I That really helps me because like the job that I applied to at the end of the day is only open for like let's say like 1 hour or like 2 hours. So timing definitely like plays a big part in like application process, in my opinion.
I
Gotcha.
I just want to make it complete because I believe 99% of everyone understand about H1B, but H1B is lottery. Okay. And if you want more certainty, it will be O1.
Uh,
So
yeah, I agree with you, but like some big
just FYI, so
yeah.
that if you guys are not sure, hey, why this company doesn't support like H1B, maybe just ask them, hey, how about O1? You know?
Mm. That is like one part, O1. The other part that like I ended up like doing is like they transfer me to like a company. Well, no, a company like the same company but like outside of the US. Like in this case, like I was
Mm.
transferred to Vancouver.
Canada.
Yeah,
Oh,
Vancouver,
yeah, yeah.
Canada. And I like got transferred back in the US, like either with H1 or like L1. So
Oh yeah,
L1
that's also straightforward. But you have to stay in the company for a year at least,
for
right?
L1, yes, but like I was lucky that I got like H1. Well, it was like the last H1 like before the 100,000. Yeah, but yeah, L1 is definitely like another possibility that you
But the
can.
thing is, they are still figuring out how to get accepted. So L1 is after you get accepted in the company, then you can be transferred to the US, right?
Yes, that's true. Well, I'm just like like
Sure,
elaborating
sure, sure.
if there is like, well, I mean like for bigger companies, like they usually have like this L1 option that you can leverage. But I wouldn't say like roll out like smaller companies. Like I know like smaller companies like you can also like thrive, and like they can also like sponsor. Maybe like do like the O1 like Daniel mentioned. So yeah.
Sorry to cut the discussion, but just wanted to be mindful of time and wanted to move on to another question. But I think there is a question for Rita, I think someone who is studying at Purdue. The participant asks, career fairs are still very common here at Purdue, and I can imagine the competition is always hard to stand out among thousands of students. What quality do you think allows international students to stand out during that career fair?
So the purpose of attending career fair for me is mainly to find the direct
Mm,
contact of that company, rather
mm,
than you send email from via the website and you do not know where your
mm,
resume will go through. Going to career fair is not really making sure you get the role itself, but you get the contact who you can
mm,
reach out, that one person rather than
mm.
the general company website. So change the mindset, the focus of why we need to attend career fair.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's helpful because I can imagine going to career fair and then go home discouraged, right? Because you're not getting anything, but it's more of yeah, I
If
think it's what Matthew was saying.
right,
This is one way to build that connection, right? Just to get the name, get the personal contact
right.
to,
Imagine you are the one who stand in the booth of the career fair.
right,
You
right.
are sending so many people. When you submit your name to them, they might not remember you. But we, as the one who needs to find a job, it's easier for us to keep their contact
Yeah,
and
yeah.
follow up from there. So that's how I normally do.
Gotcha. That's very helpful. On a separate question, I think since we are almost at time here, I think I just have two questions left. So one, how to deal with rejection, right? Well, maybe the question is what was a moment that you failed or get rejected, and how did you recover from it, right? Because some people are applying very hard, and then every day maybe you get one rejection. Every day you get rejection emails, right? That there is at some point maybe you don't want to go on anymore, right? How did you maybe deal with those moments of failure? What did it teach you? And yeah, just how do you deal with it? Maybe from Matthew first, because you are one of the person that shared that you struggle a lot. So maybe we can start with you first, and then we can go to Ganda and Daniel and Rita. I think I want to hear everyone's perspective on this.
Yeah, so I when I was like I think like after my contract got expired, like well before that, like I was like applying internally like through like inside Amazon. And
Mm,
like, I was in contact with like this hiring manager, and like I'm pretty sure like he liked me because like what happened was like he was supposed to send like the text to like HR, but like he ended up like mistakenly like send it to me that he actually wanted to hire me. So that's how I know like he actually like wanted to hire me. But after
mm,
like
mm,
reaching out to HR, like they decided to like, oh yeah, well they're going to block the hiring because I was considered external, since like at the time I was like a contractor, right? And for around that time, like SD1, like they couldn't hire from external. So at the end of the day, I was very much disappointed because like
mm, mm,
I was
mm,
almost like like this close to like get a job, but it's just like blocked because of like the circumstances. So yeah, I think like the only advice that I remember was like from my old manager. Like at the end of the day, like despite like how many rejections that you get, like you only look for like 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 what's the success metric in like getting a job? Like it's only for you to get like like at least like one like offer letter, right?
mm,
Like to
mhm,
get like
mhm,
that one,
mhm,
like at the end of the day, like despite like all like the what's it called like rejections, like at the end of the day, like if you get like that one acceptance letter, it's basically like a success, right? At the end of the day. So
mhm, mhm, mhm,
it's I think like focusing on like that goal instead of like dwelling on like the rejection. It's I know it's easier said than done, but like
mhm,
at the end
mhm,
of the day,
mhm.
that's something that like that's how I cope with like the rejections that I got, because there were a lot of like rejections that I got. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's more like you don't need 10 offer letters, right? You just that one. Ganda, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've been an interviewer myself, right? Like interviewing people and rejecting people at times, and like hiring people at times as well, right? Like giving a hire and no hire as an interviewer. I think at least in software development, the interview process sucks. Like the lead code and stuff actually does not tell you. Sometimes it can tell you something about the person, but a lot of the time you also missed out on good candidates as well. Uh, and so, like for people who are able to lead code, that doesn't mean that you are a good engineer or good people that you are working with, right? And so, like the fact that you are being rejected at times because some of the way the technical screening is being done on software engineer does not actually tell you that you are a bad engineer, right? Like, actually, for me, the fact that you are people who are able to receive rejections and you're able to recover and you're able to work hard again, try to get up and get going again. That is more important character than being able to solve lead code problem. Uh, that would be my my take on if you feel like you are inferior because you are getting rejected. I'm telling you, like when I was interviewing, I think uh, I was in 3 interviews with 3 companies. I felt better with 2 companies, and I felt bad on one of the company, which was Google, and it ended up being that I got accepted in Google and not the other 2 companies. And so I would say that in order for you to get this offer letter, sometimes you also have to be in the right place and the right time, like depending on who that candidate is, like your other competitors, and you do not know. Those are things that you cannot control. And so I think if you keep going, you keep learning, even though you have to like learn lead code, you have to learn design problems, even though these are not the kind of thing that you do day to day. But you study them because you know these are the things that you need in the interview. I think that will be more important for me. That the character that you build upon yourself on that rejections, and to continue to fight for getting a job. I think that will be valuable, not just for that one job or that one offer letter that you'll get, but that's going to be very important in other failures in life that you will encounter. That will be my take.
Thank you. So you can go to Daniel and Rita last.
Yeah, so I agree with Kanda and Matthew. So basically, perseverance, I think that's the word, right? You keep trying, just like in the PhD program. If you guys are doing research, like in the US, PhD is like 6 years. 5 years of them are failures. 1 year, if you aggregate it, maybe it's the successful moment. So if you feel like, oh, I got rejected so much, maybe try doing PhD. And maybe at the end of the day, you'll get some papers and then you can apply easier with that. And maybe if you are, like, okay, I'm enough with this job, I'll create my own job. Just build a startup. So I did build my startup. It was during my PhD, registered in one of the state. I forgot, maybe like somewhere that has a good tax. So yeah, hit me up if you want to talk about startup stuff. And yeah, good luck.
Kak Rita.
So to add on what Ganda and Dan mentioned about perseverance, for me it's more towards resilience. To share my story, I worked my first 15 years with the same company, hardware semiconductor. Now we call it Global Foundries. 4 years ago, I decided to try Microsoft. At that time, it was still tech company, mainly in software. So the transition from hardware manufacturing to Microsoft was really not easy. And to be honest, I got more than 20 rejection from Microsoft itself for different position. The first 1, 2, 3 rejection, I was so disappointed. It's like there is no way for me to go to Microsoft because the whole of my career was spending in the hardware semicon. But then after the fourth to fifth, I start changing my mindset. So I told myself that interview is just my practice, and I like enjoying to go to interview to learn what kind of next question I'm expecting and how to answer more in the more accepted way. It doesn't mean that the way I answer was not correct, just that it was not up to their standard. So it's really important to change that mindset, not to go to interview hoping that you nail it. Of course, we hope, but don't put the hope as the main goal. I think it's put the hope to learn more. And in the interview, you can also ask the interviewer, learn more about them rather than they learn more about you. Most of the time, you will answer in question, but use that 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes, normally you are given a chance to ask them question. So use that 5 minutes to ask question that you cannot find the answer elsewhere. And for me to join Microsoft, I had no referral. I know nobody at all at Microsoft. That's why it was hard for the first 1, 2, 3, but after I changed my mindset, I kind of enjoying. So I try different department and I try how different department have different style of interview before I nail it. Yeah, it was disappointing, but you don't hurt it so much when you have this mindset.
Gotcha. There is a question specifically for Daniel, and then I have one final question to just to close this session. For Daniel, I'm a CS PhD student, and my goal is to go to the industry after PhD. Looks like there is some excitement there. Getting a paper published at top conference venues seems pretty normal for a large group research. That's sometimes not the case for a small group where there is only 1 or 2 students working on a project. Do you think having a paper published with many authors at an A+ tier conference matters more than the one at an
Yeah.
A tier who only has 2 or 3 authors?
Yes.
Thank you in advance.
The name of the conference is the game. You have a good conference name, that's a good start. But of course, if you can have a main author in the big conference, that will be much better. You don't have to be the first author. But the moment, like when we review the CV, like in my company, 60% of us is PhDs. So when we review it, we look at the conference. If we don't know the conference, we reject it. Just like we are reviewing, when you guys review the candidates, you check the university name. Oh, this is not ITB. But this is the next level. This is not Stanford. This is not MIT. What is the conference? And by the way, guys,
Gotcha.
just to be clear, like I'm not from the privileged family. So the fact that I spoke a lot about research and the fact that everybody knows how bad research in Indonesia is. So more people should be aware that, hey, it's important to do research. And I'm from Trenggalek, by the way, Jawa Timur. I don't think many of you know Trenggalek. So, but yeah, that's the point. Do research.
I'm from Malang. I
Oh,
know.
wow. Nice to meet you, Karita.
Okay. So yes, thank you for that, Daniel. So I think as a closing question, and I have a special question for Rita actually. So you can choose which one you want to answer. So, but as a closing question, if you can, knowing what you know now, all of you, if you could go back to college and give yourself one piece of career advice, what would it be? And for Rita, I think since you are the only women panelist here, as a woman in tech, did you face any challenges entering into the industry, or maybe even while in the industry itself? And how did you navigate or overcome those barriers? So maybe we can start with Ganda, Matthew, and Dania first, and then we'll close it with Rita. Ganda, go ahead.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So it's more of a knowing what you know now. If you could go back to college and give yourself one piece of career advice, what would it be?
Yeah, I think for me, I think if there's one advice, like we have to be able to look for jobs and apply for jobs, no matter how small or insignificant it is, and take that opportunity always, right? Like, I think that will be a building block for the next thing that that you will get. Because I'm thinking like right now, a lot of the big techs stops hiring, like mass hiring, like it was back then. And I think there are still plenty of companies out there that are still hiring for our roles. And so being able to get internships and hands-on experience in those things, even if it's a small company, I would not. I would just take it. I would just take what I can get right now. Like, and hopefully, if you have a dream company, one day you can go to those dream company. Or if you like to work in a startup in a smaller company, that works too. Because working in a smaller company, in my experience, it tends to be more fun as well. It is much faster, and it is less bureaucratic, and you can get a lot of things done without permissions, and innovate in that way. So that would be my take.
Got it. Matthew.
Yeah. I think +1 to Ganda, but I also want to highlight like the like stay curious. I think that's something that I would give my old college self. Like stay curious about like new technologies, like explore like, hey, what's this like what is needed in the industry? Because if you're like gearing towards the industry, like you need to know what are they hiring basically? Like what skill set is like in demand. So basically like if you know like what they want, and like you can like like learn and like be adaptable, I think that would be like easier for you to like to get a job. And also like by staying curious, like I think I like to Rita's point like on like like asking like questions that during the interview, I think that kind of like translate towards like that interview process. Like at the end of the day, like you'll be like curious to learn more, and like that at the end of the day, like that makes you like stand out compared to like other candidates too. So yeah.
Thank you.
Better. So
Mhm.
I would say that it's okay to be unknown, to be an underdog. So by the way, like even like in the startup game, we got acquisition offer from Nvidia last year, but we also rejected. See, so like this kind of stuff I would never imagine when I was young or even little. Hey, how come suddenly we I would say, uh, but believe in yourself. You guys are dealing with a bunch of random issue as always, and you'll find a way, even though you don't have any privilege. That's it.
Thank you, Daniel. Rita?
It's only one. I have so many.
Oh,
I
you
could
can
tell
share
my
more.
my older me.
Go ahead.
If it is only one, uh, I will tell myself the younger version of me to spend more time on learning how to articulate things much better, because I was in the engineering, and our mindset is all about numbers, data. We tend to neglect the communication part. And as I
Mm,
grow more in my corporate world, even up to now, the executive communication is a challenge for me, and to be able to articulate crisp and clear with clarity, that is a skill. It's the skill that will bring you to the next stage, no matter where you are. So that is one that I want to tell my younger self.
Thank you.
And
Sorry, someone just
the second question to me too about the
challenge for women.
challenge for women.
yeah. That would be helpful too.
Yeah, I work in the hardware semicon industry, and of course, often I'm the only female engineering, even now. Sadly to say, there is a more or less a gender bias, in the sense that I have to prove myself more to take that role compared to my peers. Believe it or not, it happens. And most of the time, they have an assumption that I wouldn't be able to deliver. So the key is
Mm,
that
mm,
because I'm a woman, I have to prove more to take the same
mm,
opportunity.
mm,
And how I go and overcome it is two things. I need to learn how to say no. It is something for Indonesia, maybe initially is quite hard, because our culture is very polite. It tends to be like
mm.
say yes, especially when you start the early career. You tend to listen whatever your manager say. You just say yes. Yes is the safe, basically. But needed to learn how to say no in a polite way, and then I also need to self-advocate, because only you can self-advocate for yourself. You don't wait until people give to you. You have to make that happen yourself. So these are the two things I learned.
Got it. Uh, okay, I think we have one more. There is one more participant questions. Sorry, I know that we ran out of time, but the question is, sorry, I lost the question. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Is it possible for a freshman college in engineering to have an internship in the USA? or it will be better to have an internship in Indonesia since I want to have an experience in the industry and trying to have a good resume for my transfer to university. I think I will just leave it open for any of you if who wants to answer.
I can answer this. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think when I was like in college, like I see like my peers who's like freshmen, like they got like internship in like big
Mm.
company. Like I wouldn't like rule myself out. Like, well, I mean, like if you know that you're capable of, like, go for it. I mean, like I don't think like they distinguish whether like you are like freshman or like, like how, like which year you are in college. I don't think it really matters. Like, even like I think when I was like applying, like I don't think like school name even matters. Like, as long as like
Mm.
how you present yourself in the interview and like how your resume is, I think that matters a lot compared to like like school name or like which year you are in the university. I think, yeah. But
I
like
go ahead.
go ahead.
I'll just okay. So I think it's important, like, but you have to be realistic as well. At that time, I was applying to Google as well, but it's tricky because it's very specific. I have to learn about lead code, and I did research collaboration, so I'm not that good at lead code. But I applied to like internship in Singapore, in Japan. I got 3 internship in Japan. I got 1 internship in Swiss in CERN, um, and a bunch of other random stuff. And all of this like big names, I got it just within the undergrad itself. That's why I mentioned my undergrad was 5 years because 1 year I postponed it for doing internship. So don't don't be afraid of taking different decision, even though it's not common. Yeah, just do it.
Yeah,
Like
I agree. I think like at the end of the day, like apply early. I know like for software engineer, like when you want to find jobs, I think I started my job search like sometime in September for like the next like summer. So I mean, they open early and they close very soon too. So if you apply early, then I think that's like you have like a good shot in that. But I wouldn't like rule myself out just because of like, oh yeah, I'm a freshman, or like, let's say like I'm from this school. But yeah, I think like I notice is uh like if you're studying in the US, like they don't really, I think like like the companies like in the US, like they really like want to see like your experience rather than like where you came from at the end of the day. So yeah.
Got it. Any more thoughts from Kanda or Rita?
I
Yeah, I
think
mean, like,
experience for me is totally different. I was in Singapore and it's really different system, so I cannot advise on this matter.
Mm.
well, I think from my perspective, yeah, I mean, the companies probably tend to look at internship in the US as more valuable than that in Indonesia, especially if the company is not as popular. But like what I was mentioning, right? Like, if that's what you have, that's what you get, and you end up doing internship in Indonesia, why not take it, right? Like, uh, I think a lot of the times is that, like, sometimes we think that I'm not sure if we feel like we have to get an internship in the US or it's nothing. But sometimes, if we uh, humble ourselves and we allow ourselves to just say that, oh, this is the opportunity that was given to me and I'm going to take it. Maybe a bigger opportunity will be given. We never know, right? Like whatever is going on in our life, sometimes that if that's the path that is given, who knows, that path is the one that is going to lead us to even better future than what we can think of. We don't know the people that we are going to meet in that internship in Indonesia, or your experience, your struggle there, will build you up more than if you just happen to get all the easy stuff in the US, right? So that will be my view on internship in Indonesia. And I've never done it, but I have had a friend who has done internship in Indonesia. Uh, she didn't end up working there for full time, but that internship in Indonesia buys her time to delay her graduations in the US, and she was able to get internship in the US after that internship in Indonesia. And because she postponed a lot of the graduation for the full time of the university, then she was able to get a full time in the US as well. So you might think that it's invaluable, but sometimes we just don't know, right? Like we cannot see the future. But then if we continue to do what we can at the time that it was given to us, who knows what path may open up in the future.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in here. I think that is all we have for now. Thank you so much for your time, Ganda, Matthew, Dania, Rita. This is very valuable. I think as a last thing, I think Irma, you have we if it's okay with the four of you, I think we want to share your LinkedIn profile. There is a QR code that Irma was making. So for the participants, feel free to connect with Ganda, Matthew, Rita, and Daniar through LinkedIn. Hopefully, we can have more relationships beyond this 1 hour, right? And yeah, just build mentorship, build friendship, build relationships. And so take a screenshot here. And I think, Jane, if I'm not wrong, we also want to take picture.
Yes, I think just a quick picture. If everyone managed to get a screenshot already, I think Irma, you can finish the screen share. And please, I encourage everyone to turn on their video, but if people don't want to turn on their video, that's totally fine. I'll just do a quick screenshot of the Zoom. Just smile, guys. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Great. I think that's all. You can close it out, William.
Yeah. So I think, Jane, maybe if people didn't get a screenshot earlier, is it okay if they reach out to Permias Instagram or something to get information of what we
Yes,
have?
I can
Or
send
like
the email
LinkedIn and
blast.
yeah. Okay.
I can send
Cool.
an email blast. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, thank you, Ganda, Matthew, Rita, and Daniel. This is very, very valuable. So hopefully we can connect again in the future. And thank you, everyone who is joining this session. Hope to see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Please keep in touch.
All right. See you all.